Restream. We're broadcasting to both YouTube and Rumble. So yeah, so I'm trying to see if it's actually going to register here. And yep, I think it's showing up on YouTube now. Not yet. I got to check Rumble too. So sorry about that. There's just a little bit of setup setup delay here because I have never done this before. So I got to make sure that everything is good. But I don't see anything. I don't see anything on YouTube yet. Does anybody? You can see me. Okay. I don't. It doesn't show up on the thing here. Okay. So you can see me. Okay. Good. So now the question is, do I show up on Rumble? That I can't tell yet. Let's see if I'm on the live section there. So I guess I don't know yet. So we're gonna leave Rumble on the side here, and we'll see if it's actually gonna do something here. Okay, so I'm starting to see comments on my combined comments here. We should see both YouTube and Rumble. So this is kind of a new thing. So it's a little bit messy. Greetings, John Smith. So I can see like John Smith, the last comment I see here. And yeah, so good. So I don't know if I'm going to see like super chats yet. I have no idea. That's something that we'll figure it out on the go here and see what happens. So now this is again a combined broadcast on Rumble and on YouTube. Rumble will start promoting this, I think, at some point. I don't know if they're going to do it on this particular broadcast, but they will probably promote it, if not on this broadcast, then on the next one. So thank you for being here, guys. And the topic today, of course, is going to be about Apple. So if you're watching this on Rumble, again, not knowing if anybody on Rumble can see this, this is the Rob Braxman Tech Channel. Unlike in YouTube, on YouTube, everyone that's making a comment is actually a subscriber. On Rumble, chances are the people who might see this may not be subscribers, and so they may not know who I am. So I may have to introduce myself at some point here to just let them know what it is I talk about. So this channel talks about internet privacy. This is, again, just a general intro to, sorry to waste your time, YouTubers, but yeah, so it's I'm an internet privacy evangelist, and we're going to talk about some of the dangers of things in tech. And not all tech is good. In fact, because I'm in tech, I understand that tech can be used in a bad way. I also hope the sound is different, because I'm monitoring the sound now, and it sounds good to me, but it may not sound good to you, so you tell me. Okay, so we have an interesting topic today, and the format, as usual, is I go for 30 minutes talking about the stated topic, which is why would you trust Apple, and then after that we'll do a Q&A section, and I'll talk more about the Q&A in the next segment after the first 30 minutes. So the topic again is about Apple and why would you trust Apple. And this question is raised again because, as you know, you all got notice of an update, a very dangerous 0-day that was found on Apple devices. And because of the dangerous 0-day, you are encouraged to immediately update your iOS on your iOS version on your device. Because of the 0-day that can actually get into the system and have system access from the 0-day. And now, you don't really understand what that means. Most of you don't understand what that means. So you say, oh, okay. So I guess there's an update. I better do something about it. What you actually don't understand is why just zucking now. So basically, what this update is, if you read between the lines, they're actually encouraging people who are targets of governments, like journalists, to update their devices immediately. And why is it that the target are people who are journalists? And the reason for this is finally, it seems, of course, Apple never tells you this because that's what they do. Finally, they tell you that they probably found the 0-day that was being used by Pegasus. Pegasus is the application that is used to hack iPhones. So strangely enough, it's used to hack iPhones, not necessarily Android, but used to hack iPhones. So a lot of journalists were hacked over the last couple of years, and I've never heard of a solution to that until now. I mean, it took them a couple of years to figure out that they were being hacked, and this is being exploited. So basically, just to give you a brief explanation to how you're being hacked, apparently you're being hacked through the browser on an iPhone. So the module, one of the modules that are in question here is called WebKit, which is part of the browser in Safari. And somebody found a way to execute some code in WebKit and then allows it to crash, and then they can do arbitrary commands with system level access with admin rights, which allows them then to load apps and load dangerous things on the device. And this is explains, how Pegasus and such apps can do that. All they have to do is pass some sort of link that will be opened up in the browser, and then in theory, now this is not explained, so you have to read between the lines. This is what I'm gathering between the lines here, and then they can go in there. It doesn't have to be just Safari. It's WebKit. So WebKit is included in many browsers. So it may not just be Safari itself. WebKit, it could be the whole WebKit thing. So I'm not certain if it's just updating Safari or updating all the modules to relate to WebKit. So anyway, the Pegasus attack is primarily focused on iPhone. The attack on Android is not the same. So, and if you notice, most of the targets in the journalistic world have been iPhones. So so there may be a different kind of 0-day that they used on Android, but you notice you don't hear much about it because it's probably not too open of a 0-day. So most of the attacks have been happening and continue to have happened on iOS, and then here we are. Now, the reason this is more of an issue with Apple more than, let's say, Android is because the security parts of Android are actually open source. So if you have a Android or even a de-Googled Android, that part of it that handles the security side is actually open source. As you know, there is no such openness in the Apple ecosystem. So Apple is completely closed, and Apple has done things using the system called security by obscurity. And this is really funny because there's a group here. There's a group that attack me all the time. There's a group that attacks me all the time, and they claim they use this particular OS on the Google phones that starts with a G. But if you actually query the actual people who actually are in this group, most of them use iPhones. So they're saying that iPhones are safer. Well, they're full of shit. CHIT. They're full of shit. So yeah. So they iPhones to me are, the epitome of a device that I have to mistrust at an extreme level, because they do very, very strange things that actually are not done on any other operating system. It really bugs me a lot because you guys are like falling for the hype that iPhone is privacy. Somebody actually made a comment on my video when I made the video on the AI, I think, and somebody made a comment that, use an iPhone. They don't track you on iPhones. And I was like saying, what? This is such an uninformed individual, probably one of the followers of those people who supposedly are in the security business. It's so funny uh, how many people in the so-called security business attack me, and we'll get into that later in the next half because it's ludicrous. They actually make statements like, "Oh, here's Rob Braxman. He's the self-proclaimed." This is the funny part: self-proclaimed security expert. Okay, so just pay attention to that because we'll get back to that later in the next half hour. Anyway, let me tell you just some of the clues that there's a problem with your iPhone. Some of the clues that really bug me because I've had iPhones. I had iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, I got every single one, every single submodel. I got iPads galore. I got all of that. I got Macs. I got all this, and I stopped when I got to iPhone 10, and that's it. I never bought an Apple product again, and I stopped there. I got really, really concerned because things are changing so fast on the iPhone side, and it's like the iOS and even the Mac OS side that are really, really strange. One of the strangest things that I've found and discovered from testing is that your iPhone or your Mac is being tracked by Find My Phone or Find My, because it doesn't have to be a phone. So Find My is tracking it. Now, what is shocking about this Find My when I actually figured it out is what happens is every single iOS or Mac OS device is pinging HQ even when the product is not even sold yet. It's sitting in the Zucking store at the Apple store and it's pinging HQ, every single one of those iPads. Remember the story? In LA, a bunch of thieves. They do the flash mob theft. They come in as a big group and then rob the Apple store. So they did that, and good luck with that because it's like So every one of those phones and iPads or Mac OS or Mac computers that they stole are pinging Zucking HQ. They're pinging HQ. Okay? Now, some of you say, well, Find My Phone is permission based. If you don't give it permission, it's not pinging to find whatever the location is. Wrong. You are so wrong. And one of the reasons they do that is, hey, theft. So if you steal a iPhone, even if it's not been registered to anyone yet, like you steal from the Apple store, don't worry. You don't have to register the phone. They're already tracking it from the Zucking factory as long as it has some sort of power, which actually extends to some power. It doesn't have to have a lot of power. It just to have some power. So when you have an iPhone, it's being tracked by Find My Phone. If you turn the phone off, it's still being tracked. Now it's being tracked by the Apple Mesh Network, and it's being treated as a Zucking AirTag. So now if there's no power and there's some battery, it becomes an AirTag, which is tracked by the Apple Mesh Network, and every single iPhone in existence around it is tracking the location and is sending the location not just of the device, but every iPhone around it. Because, of course, like I said, Find My Phone tracks every device. This is not true of Android. As much as I can complain about Google all day, the fact of the matter is Google doesn't do this. This is a specific thing. Google does some bad stuff, but this is beyond the pale. I mean, it goes beyond anything. Imagine that you cannot escape it as long as there's some power to your iOS phone or your Mac OS. iOS is worse. It tracks you to a degree that you have never imagined. You can actually Find My Phone exactly within 6 Zucking feet, which can be more accurate now, but 6 Zucking feet of tracking on a Zucking iPhone, even when the power's off, and you're saying, Apple says I can control Find My Phone because if I don't register with Find My Phone, I don't see it on my Apple account. I can't see the location of phones. If I'm a a relative, like one of my children has an iPhone, and I'm looking at them, and the phone has not yet been turned on with Find My Phone. You don't see it and say, oh, it's safe. They haven't turned on Find My Phone, and so I can't see them, so it's safe. Wrong. 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 I mean, I don't understand how stupid people are. You don't understand the technology. It doesn't work like that. So Find My Phone is simply saying it is assigned to you. It can stay unassigned. Like I told you, you can have an iPhone with Find My Phone active at the store without any assignment to any user. So until it's assigned to you, you don't see the location. Apple does. Apple does. Apple sees the location. You don't. Apple sees the location when the phone is off. You don't. Everything is on the Apple side. Apple can control it. So the Find My Phone is simply a simple step to say, I'm going to associate my account with the phone, and therefore, if I do, I'll be able to see the location. So take that away. Forget about your involvement with the phone and having permission to do Find My Phone, and just think of the fact that Apple knows where every single iOS device is at all times. At all times. Which means they can do geofencing, they can do any number of things. And they're saying, we honor your privacy. Apple iPhone is privacy, and all that. It's all bullshit. Bullshit. So am I on Rumble? Am I actually showing up on Rumble now? Somebody just said, made a comment about Rumble, but am I showing up on Rumble? I don't think they're promoting me yet here. So I didn't get a response that they were promoting me, but they'll probably do it next week if it's not showing up now. Yeah, I don't see it on the promoted list yet. So maybe they'll see if it tests okay. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, we'll be on the promoted list. We'll be right on the front screen of Rumble, just like some of my videos are being promoted on the front of Rumble. So that's going to be, they're going to promote it. So anyway, and you think, oh, is that it? So that's the only problem is Find My Phone? Well, no. So one of the things that Apple did. So now you understand that the Apple device has a much more pronounced tracking capability than any other phone. It's just much more, as John Smith says, it's much more insistent. Yes. It's basically saying that Apple won't give up. They just want to know exactly where you are. Whereas, on Google, there's a way to shut it down. Well, not quite, but, there's a way to shut it down enough, including if you power it off, which you cannot do on an iPhone. But when Apple says, we're not just going to go track where you are, but we want to know what's on your phone. We want to know what's on your phone. So now that's pretty crazy. And the feature is called client-side scanning. So this technology I explained was in past videos was originally made. They didn't actually implement it for the intended purpose, which was to track people watching illegal or looking at illegal photos. So the original intent was original photos. So they put the technology into the phone, and because of the bad press, they said, okay, I guess we're not going to use it for the intended purpose, which is to be able to check your photos on your phone to see if you have one of these illegal photos. I don't want to say what the illegal photos are, because then it just gets me demonetized, but it's photos that you shouldn't have. And that was the intended purpose. Except the question is, why does Apple need to do that? Why does Apple need to be in part of the police to police your photos? What does that have to do with the phone when they can even do it on iCloud? They don't even have to tell you They don't even have to tell you. All they have to do is go to iCloud. You're backing up everything on the iCloud and look at all your photos there and say, oh, we found some illegal photos here. Let's call the police quietly, and it's done. It's done. We got you. Oh no, they got to go announce it. They got to announce the new technology. So why exactly they do that? It's not very clear, right? Because the technology itself is nothing to do specifically with illegal photos. It has to do with being able to do what is called client-side scanning, meaning they can actually instruct the AI to find any content. It doesn't even have to be a photo. As long as the AI can figure it out, they look for characteristics, say, I find this kind of content on the phone. And then it will find, and quietly, and this is a problem that you don't even realize, it's actually encrypted, and you can't actually break, I can't imagine how you can break this encryption with the instructions, because the instructions are already coded in a way that only the AI can understand. And so the AI says, oh, I found this type of content. For just give you a brief example. Let's say that Apple says, we need to blackmail some politicians. Yeah, we need some power. Let's blackmail some politicians. Let's blackmail politicians in every country, and they're all using iPhones. Like the German chancellor at the time, Merkel was using an iPhone. So let's hit all these people using iPhones, and let's find specific content that we can hit them with. Let's find nude photos. Okay, how hard do you think they had to work to find that kind of specific content on any politician? I mean, they just issue one command and say, okay, find all this, and it will filter them by importance to see if they could be a target, and then you can have a blackmail target, and then either they can work on that themselves or sell it to the CIA. And you're saying, oh no, you're what you're saying is so out of the realm of reality. You're making it up. You're the usual. You're a fearmonger and all this kind of stuff. And okay, so just to make this clear, so the technology is actually on the phone. So yes, they did not implement the original reason, which was to spot the specific kind of photos on the phone. But the technology is on the phone still. Okay, it's still on the phone, and some people have detected it on the phone. Now, when you actually find out this content on the phone, what exactly stops them from taking the next step with this content, identifying these individuals? And why would I say they would do that? Because of history, folks. History. I don't make this up. Okay, Apple was participating in the PRISM program, the muscular and X-key score, and all these NSA programs in the past, and whatever the CIA is doing, who knows. But those are back in the day. This was in the Snowden documents, and it's on Wikipedia, and it says there very clearly that they were paid for it. They were paid for the sucking data. So yes, they can say, oh, we don't sell data like Google. Google's bad because they sell data. They sell your data. Okay, but at least they're very upfront about it. But here we have Apple selling the data, and then it's got to be under the table because it's sold by government contract. So don't come to me and say, oh, Apple doesn't sell my data. Apple's safe. Bullshit. Okay, I mean, they were part of this X-key score and muscular and all these programs that actually took your data from Apple and put it into the database and made it part of the database and searchable by the operatives of the three-letter agencies. And you're saying, oh, they're not going to share data. Yeah, so why is Apple collecting this kind of information that to me serves no marketing purpose? What is the purpose of finding out client-side content? What is the actual purpose? That doesn't bug you, that you don't know what the actual purpose is? And it really bugs me because it's like, what the heck? We don't actually know what the purpose is. And that's one of the issues with Apple. Apple now has the largest mesh network So the collection of AirTags and iPhones, so every iPhone now and every iOS device, and iOS and every iOS device, so iPads and iPhones are now part of this mesh network that don't even need the internet. They can actually pass secret messages to Apple without even showing any traffic on the internet. It's done by radio on the mesh network, which is a big video of mine, one of my viral videos, and explaining this technology. The same technology being used by Amazon Sidewalk. It's called the Apple Mesh Network, and both of these use the Bluetooth BLE or Bluetooth Low Energy, which is also used. It's the one that's used to track your phone when the power's off. And again, what is their excuse? They say, well, we want to track your phone when the power's off because of theft. Right. Right, you can justify anything, It's like, we need to turn on the camera at will because somebody may have stolen your phone. Oh, we need to see what's on your phone in case somebody stole it. Oh, I mean, any excuse you can come up with any excuse for tracking, and the fanboys are going to say, oh, this is great. This is great. So there's just more. It's just, they added some features, by the way, in recent times. They added, the iCloud private relay. They supposedly to prevent them from thank you, burn your bridges. I actually saw a super chat. That's amazing. I never thought I would see a super chat on this app here. But yeah, I saw that. I thought you have to be on YouTube to see that. So I can see if anybody left a comment on Rumble, which apparently has not, I would see that. So anyway, if you look at what is going to be concerned with Apple devices, they just go beyond anything expectation of what you expect a phone to do, and you wonder why. Why are they doing this? Why are they building the AI in such a way that they can even search for content on the phone? Why are they building technology that supposedly can treat your phone like a robot? They can basically give instructions to the AI, and the neural network is built in, or the AI is built onto the iPhone, so they can actually offload the AI onto the phone itself. The AI can function independently on an iPhone. So basically, the iPhone is like a robot. They put the technology, and giving more and more power to your little iPhone here, and your iPhone is like a robot, and it's so you're basically they're building some technology here. I don't know what they're going to add to an iPhone that they need to do robotic AI capabilities in it. What are they up to? So for this reason, and I'm out of time, so I can't go much further than this, but I'm just giving you an idea that I do not trust Apple at all. I do not. It's one of the worst devices I can ever think of. And I was a big avid iPhone user. I actually have the belief in the past that the iPhone was harder to hack, and I can't say that anymore. Pegasus proved that because they're still operating under security by obscurity. They often make statements I have 2 minutes left, so I'll tell you this. Apple makes statements that, we encrypt this, we encrypt that, we end-to-end encrypt, the traffic on AirTags and all that. False. What they do is they encrypt some things. It's basically this. Like, there's two kinds of data, let's say. There's AirTag data, which passes the identity of the AirTag. They said they encrypt that. Okay. Let's say that's true, which could be true. So they have the AirTag, and the activity of the AirTag is in this channel. They don't tell you about the other channel. The other channel is your iPhone that revealed the location of the AirTag that was nearby, meaning all the iPhones in the area are revealing this, are actually on the other side that has no encryption, because they're part of the Find My Phone thing. So, I mean, they can make any promises they can, but they don't have to tell you, and nobody can prove anything, because you don't see the source code. There's no way to verify anything they say. They all have to say is, we encrypt. And people say, we're safe. They encrypt. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's like two channels, a side channel, the main channel. Yeah, they encrypt the main channel, but they don't encrypt the side channel, and that's where you're identified. And that's where they got all the contact tracing stuff and all the other stuff in there, finding out who's near you. Uh, contact tracing. Good thing nobody wants to use that, but it's built into the phone, and that's what was using BLE as well, Bluetooth Low Energy. This is crazy stuff. And so now they got caught with this bug, with this Pegasus thing that's been hounding them for years, and and why is it that it took so long to find it? And the reason, of course, is nobody sees the source code. Nobody sees the source code, so it's all a big secret. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end this segment now because I only allot 30 minutes, and then we're going to go to the Q&A section, which I will start after this sponsor announcement. So, as you know, I always promote my sponsor here consistently over the last couple of years, practically here, which is Lenode. Now, Lenode was bought by Akamai, so it's now part of Akamai. Nothing has changed. Pricing is the same, everything's the same, and the level of support is the same. And still excited about my relationship with Lenode. Lenode is the only company in the cloud services field that I felt like is not cheating me and giving me a very, very fair deal for the services it provides, which in my case, I have a lot of servers. I have a lot of servers running many, many of the services I offer to you, VPNs and so on, and the Braxme platform, many services that support the infrastructure of Braxme. They're all well, not all, but most of them are running on Lenode. My email services are running on Lenode. My VPN services are running on Lenode. So why Lenode? Well, aside from the fact that they have the best pricing so far, is the support, and it's just fair. They don't play games with the pricing. It's all clear. You can get a server. You can set up a web server for as little as $5 a month. $5 a month, and it'll be enough for a website, for example. It's pretty fair. So are they open source? It's Linux. They use Linux servers, so of course they're open source. Yes. So 68 people watching this on Rumble. Okay. They haven't promoted it on Rumble yet, though. So anyway, so I have. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a moment. So anyway, go to Lenode if you need a server or you want to investigate if you're running on a server on platforms like GoDaddy or AWS. Look at lenode.com/Rob Braxman, and they'll give you a $200 credit, which allows you to pretty much use that for up to 2 months, and you can test Lenode for free. So, okay, guys. So let me switch to the Q&A. So now we're in the Q&A segment where I'm going to be reading your comments. Now, the way this works here is I'm supposed to see the comments from both Rumble and YouTube. I have yet, must not be working right, because I don't see any comments. I haven't seen a comment yet from Rumble, so I don't know how that works here. So yeah, and if anybody is on Rumble, you can test the comment. I don't see anything. There's a little icon that tells me it's YouTube, so I don't actually see that. So looks like it's not getting the chat messages. So some things I got to figure out on Rumble. At least if it's broadcasting on Rumble, that's a plus. At least we got to the first step. So yeah, so it's not on the promoted list. It's, I would have thought they were going to put it on the live section. So let me see if it's showing up on the live section yet. No. Well, let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's showing in the live section now. Okay. So a little late there. Must have been done manually So, okay, so this says 95 people watching on Rumble, but I haven't seen any comments yet from Rumble. Anyway, guys, so my last first 30 minutes was on the stated topic, which is why I do not trust Apple. Now, the way this is going to work on Rumble is after the broadcast, the live stream will get deleted on Rumble. And don't worry about that, because what's going to happen is it's going to copy. The procedures are not 100% clear here initially. So what will happen is the YouTube video version of the live stream, which is the same as what you're seeing now, will then get uploaded separately to Rumble. So you'll be able to see a follow-up video, just not with live comments on Rumble. I don't see, you may not see any live comments on Rumble. You'll just see the live comments on YouTube. So, but if there are any comments on Rumble that I can see, I haven't seen any yet, but if I can see them, if I happen to see them and I acknowledge it, then you will of course hear it on the video. Okay. So thank you for you commented. Okay, so yeah, I'm not seeing any comments on Rumble. So something I gotta go figure out. So unfortunately, there's no easy way to test this without shutting down, causing problems by interrupting, Rumble itself with live videos. So I don't know how to do this yet. Okay, so anyway, so I'm happy you're here on the live stream on YouTube now, and now welcome to the new users. Probably so many of you are new, probably have never heard of me on Rumble before. So I'm being promoted on Rumble now, so you'll see a lot of my videos. So I'm brand new on Rumble. I've only been in Rumble for a couple of weeks, and I'm happy to say I've already reached 5,000 subscribers on Rumble for a very, very short amount of time. The only problem is that, it's not, the Rumble way is not the same as YouTube, and there's not a way to, get notifications the same way, not the same way that you can watch, replays and all that. So most of the views on Rumble have come from me being on the front screen, being put out on the front screen by the editors of Rumble. So unfortunately, it's not yet, I would say it's not yet organic. It's not organic yet, like it is on YouTube. I'm happy to say too, so you guys know the problems that I've been having on YouTube here. And surprisingly, I announced that I went on Rumble, and then suddenly some changes happened. I even told you that some people interviewed me, like David Bumble, with a big channel on YouTube, a million subscribers, and he never published the interview. He never published the interview. So so my conclusion is, I mean, this may or may not be correct, but my conclusion is that he became afraid that I might bring his channel down because my numbers were going down, and maybe he thought that people are losing interest in me. Well, I'm happy to say that my numbers are back up. I believe I got 2,000 new subscribers in the last week. 2,000 subscribers in the last week. So we're moving to the old levels again, and yeah. So yeah, things are moving again the usual way. So whatever fear you might have, yes, as I explained in the last couple of videos, the reason that my numbers have gone down was because a lot of you, and I mean a big number, I mean it's probably 250,000 of you left YouTube. So yeah, so many of you are elsewhere. You're on Rumble, you're on Odyssey, you're on some other platform, and I did not know that. And because of the kind of people that watch my channel, basically half the population practically left. So which then the algorithm interpreted as the subscriber loss of interest in my channel, when in fact the reason has nothing to do with that. The reason is more about the fact that people move to other platforms. I'm actually surprised that the number of people on Rumble, the monthly viewers on Rumble is like, I don't know, 30 million or 50 million. I forget, some big number. So Rumble is now one of the biggest platforms all of a sudden in the last year. So, I haven't really paid attention to Rumble. Rumble reached out to me and said, would you like to join us here on Rumble? And I was kind of hesitating. I am of course on Odyssey. I'm the number 7 creator on Odyssey, so I have a very, very big following on Odyssey now. I have 78,000 followers on Odyssey, but of course, compared to YouTube, YouTube still has, what am I now? I'm pretty much at 366,000. So I'm almost at 366,000. So that I increased 2,000 just in 1 week. So yeah. So anyway, the algorithm, I don't know if somebody interfered with it, but because I've been complaining about it, about shadow banning and all that. But whatever, the algorithm is finally sharing my videos, and when they share my videos do well because they're doing well on Rumble. My videos are doing well on Rumble just like they do on YouTube. So without any outside interference, my videos do well. With outside interference, they don't do well. So, so that's the good news. It's the message is getting across that privacy is important, which is what I talk about here, and that you shouldn't be so enamored by tech, like iPhones, thinking that I have an iPhone. It's they say it's the safest phone. Well, it's not. It's not the safest phone. In fact, there is no safe phone unless you have one of the alternative phones, like a de-Googled phone. If you have a de-Googled phone, then you have the safest phone that you can get. You can also get a few Linux phones, which are not yet ready for prime time, but they can be used. They're not ready for prime time. I can't recommend them yet because you're not going to be happy in using it every day. But yeah, it's so some of you don't know that if you're new to my channel, you don't know that there's only one kind of phone that you can use, and I sell one, but this is not the only one. So this is the one I sell. So that's a de-Googled Brax 2 phone, and there's other makes and models of de-Googled operating systems that I talk about in my videos. And these are the only safe ones. And don't mention Lockzoid. That's a bad word here in this channel. Bad word. Good thing you misspelled it. You're lucky you misspelled it, or that would have been picked up by my filter. I don't allow that word to be said in here. Okay. We don't allow those to steal operating systems and say and then take it and say, oh, I have this great operating system. I stole it, but it's okay. But we'll go attack Rob Braxman because he doesn't like to promote this operating system. So yeah, we'll attack Rob Braxman and call him a scammer, even though we steal operating systems. So let me make a side comment about he didn't own it. He was an employee. He decided, I'm gonna go steal it now. So instead of saying, okay, let's dispute it and go through the proper process of negotiating that, no, he just took it. So am I a supporter of it? Heck no. So no, because it's a bad community. The community is really, it's really bad because it could have been very helpful to the rest of us in the privacy field to have alternative products uh, uh, for the Google phones and such. But when you have bad communities, then what do? So there's another bad community out there. And these people, are fond of attacking me by making their own. They make their own YouTube videos. So apparently I saw one just to show you how stupid people are. Okay. They don't even watch my video. They take the video, the title, and they go make their own video attacking me, saying, "Oh, this guy is so stupid. He's a self-proclaimed cybersecurity expert." I gotta respond to this, that I'm a self-proclaimed cybersecurity expert. I don't know, how do you proclaim yourself to be a cybersecurity expert? I wonder. So how do you proclaim yourself to be a cybersecurity expert? Well, I don't know. I mean, cybersecurity is a kind of a quiet field. You do your thing, and unless you're publishing something, like maybe you found some exploit, and you published it, and you got, you were the one to find out the Apple exploit, and that can make you well known for one little thing. But that's not what I did, okay? That's not my claim to fame. That is not my claim to fame. My claim to fame is, and I dare you, so these people attack me, I dare you to actually quantify how much money you made from cybersecurity. How much money did you make? Did people actually pay you for this? Did people pay you for this? So don't come to me and say, "Oh, I'm a cybersecurity expert." How much money did you make? I've been doing this for a sucking long time. You fools. You're going to come to me and say, this guy is the what do you call me? The self-proclaimed cybersecurity expert. I don't have to proclaim anything. I just look at my bank account and see how much money they sucking paid me to solve their problems. They sucking paid me a lot of money to solve their problems. When they couldn't find anyone to solve it, they brought me in. Now, I don't have to prove anything to you suckers. I don't have to prove anything to you. Okay, I've been doing this for a sucking long time. When the internet first started, I was already doing this. Some of you are sucking beginners. You weren't even born when I was doing this. McAfee was a little older than me. Okay, McAfee's older, so he was first. But I was already doing this a long time ago and was sucking getting paid for it. Paid lots of money. So if you're going to tell me, this Rob Braxton, he has no credibility. What has he done? It's like, I'm not even gonna waste my time with you idiots, because if you think I know nothing, the reason I'm able to explain a lot of the stuff here is because of my background. I was in it, and I know the evils that can be done because I was right in the middle of it. I knew what can be done. I've told you this. I had a government contract. I have a government contract where I was taking data from your medical data and feeding it to the government in real time. That was a government contract. I did that. Among other things, that's just an example. So when somebody said, what's your credibility in all this? I don't know, probably more than yours. So if you don't think that I know what I'm talking about, then they would not have paid me money. It's that simple. If they don't think I know what I'm talking about, they're not going to pay me money. So apparently they did. Now I don't do that anymore. The reason I don't do that anymore is because now I do it openly in front of you guys, and I just teach you what I know. And we don't need to explain my hidden world and what I did in the past, because I'm not going to go publicize it for for many reasons, it has to be kept quiet. Okay, so what I did in the past has to be kept quiet. Uh, 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 if you want to know why, because there's a gag order. So that's why. I can't really talk about what I did. So there's a gag order on it. So no, I can't really discuss what I did. So but I know what I do. So yes, I just in general, I was a C programmer. I was a C programmer for I mean, I program in, I don't know, 20 25 other languages, but I even wrote one programming language, but did I write one or two? I can't remember. Okay, but one's still in use. So one's still in use. So primarily I'm a C programmer. So when you're doing C programming, and of course you're doing things at a level that is closer to the machine. So that's what I was doing for a hell of a long time. In fact, I started C programming when C first started. Yeah, I pretty much near the very beginning of C, near the very beginning. So it's like some of these people will come to me and say, "Oh, you have no credibility. You're self-proclaimed." It's like, suck you. Okay, so the topic that I talk about is very serious. I mean, I study this because I know how it's made. I program what I can program, to prove things, and I'll duplicate some things if I have time to do it. Nowadays, I don't have to do that. What I do is I reverse engineer. I reverse engineer what Apple's doing, what Google's doing. I reverse engineer in my mind what they can do because I understand what I can do. And I can understand what they can do with the data. So I will reverse engineer, and that's what I explained to you. I am not here to do cybersecurity testing. That is not what I do. That's not what I do. Okay, I'm not here to do cybersecurity testing for you. So somebody said, "Well, you missed this. You on your own servers, you didn't update the." Like, who cares? Like, that's what you have employees for. I can't follow every CVE notification and say, "Oh, you got to update this version of Apache 2 because that's not the thing I'm talking about here." Okay, so what I do is reverse engineer what big tech does because I know how to program. I know how it's done. This is one of the things that I did recently was I started to delve into understanding how they do AI, machine learning, and understand the concept of how machine learning works. And that's why I can explain it, because I said, okay, so that's how machine learning works because I figured it out. So I said, okay, I understand the mechanics of that, and I understand that it's actually pretty powerful. And to be honest, I'm not sure there's a limit to it. Uh, our understanding of what AI can do is completely wrong. Some of you made comments to in the video saying, "Oh, that the AI doesn't have emotions, can't respond to people, can't tell what a joke is, and on and on and on." And you're gonna be wrong. You're gonna be wrong because you can teach the AI anything. You can probably teach the AI to act like a human. Of course, it's a machine. It's not really feeling like a human, but it can duplicate what it perceives as the typical behavior because that's what you teach it. You can teach it typical human behavior, and if you do, it can act as human-like as you might imagine. It'll confuse you. You will not realize it is not human, and that includes detecting jokes and stuff like that because that can be taught. The AI now, in fact, the Jigsaw project of Google is able to detect sarcasm. It doesn't. It now understands sarcasm. When you put comments on here on YouTube, Google actually scans that and can actually track sarcasm and can actually auto delete certain content if it's in on their list, and it can actually see if you're doing it with sarcastically or being truthful. Now, who would have thought that AI could do that? So yeah, it's crazy. And the reason I can explain this to you again is because I understand how tech. There's nothing. I programmed everything. I over the years I've just about delved with practically all fields. I haven't done anything to do with quantum computing because that was beyond my time here. But when I was active in the field, and whatever I study now, I'm able to understand it because I worked with so much different applications. I remember the first application I worked with, when I was just starting programming, was to do Monte Carlo simulation modeling, which is like pretty far out stuff. Which is kind of like, it's Monte Carlo simulation is probably the the early stage of, because there was no AI back then, so you had to react by probabilities, and Monte Carlo simulation would react by probabilities. So you can use it for traffic management and such things, and you know just in time, management, things like that. And that's what I did. That's the very first programming project I actually did commercially, and that's I did that on a big giant mainframe. Built that on a big giant mainframe, and back then it would take. Back then, on a mainframe, that would take hours to run. I would actually shut down. I would shut down the big giant mainframe for hours because the simulation took that long. So yeah, so to just assure you that when I talk about a topic, then it's based on a lot of knowledge, a lot of knowledge. So yeah, so don't listen to the naysayers. It's kind of it's kind of humorous because these naysayers are like young, they have no experience, they know a few things in cybersecurity and they think they know more than they know, and it's ludicrous. And they come to me and they say this guy is a scammer, a this or that, and it's really funny because how old are you, kid? You're telling somebody like me that's been in the industry so long, and you're a kid, and you're gonna tell me that I don't know anything. Oh well. You know what is good about being doing live stream like this? You can tell if somebody's lying to you. You can tell if somebody is BSing you. You can tell if somebody's full of it. It's not really, it's not telling the truth. You can tell that. You can get a sense of this, and this is live. So there's some advantage to the live stuff. Peter Lang, I want to talk about that too, uh, if our time allows. So yes, so stay put. We'll talk about the Brax 2 US phone. I don't have all the details yet, but I'll talk about what I know because I'm waiting for a final meeting to discuss the details of that. But anyway, uh, Android Find My Phone is based on the Wi-Fi scanning feature that's built into iPhones as well as Google phones. But Find My Phone is on a Android is still based on a permission in your setting. Google, of course, knows where every Google Android phone is as well as iPhone. So they're not that different in that sense. However, the Google phone is not known to Google. Google doesn't know what this phone is. To Google, it doesn't exist. So, yeah, so the Google phones, this is a Brax 2 phone. Brax 2, the Google phone. That's Brax 2 OS. I have a lot to talk about in some future video about the Brax 2 OS and where it came from and the history and all that. But we're working on that right now, the open source part of it. There's so many changes because it moved to different Android versions to the latest one, and because that's still being finished up, it was hard to go publish the source code for it. Anyway, we're gonna have an answer for you shortly here, so all of those mysteries will be answered. Everything I told you is accurate, and there's not going to be any issue. There's a you will find that it will be open source. You will find the what the history of it is, and you might be surprised when I actually show you the detail that it's the roots the roots of it are actually not far behind, not behind, but not far from the roots of the other ones that you're so familiar with, that you bring up over here on this channel as being superior OSs. You will find that they actually come from similar sources, and yeah. So anyway, oh, this is a somebody did a 3D print of the phone case. So this is kind of a like a bigger lip, and Cowboy Zero built these, and he improved on it some more, and he's selling the case on eBay. So I think he's selling it for $15. So it's 3D printed with polyurethane, I think, and so he's selling it on eBay. So there's a link on. You can ask him on Braxme, and so if you need a case. Okay, so yeah, so the case that we have is not as thick as this. So this is a fairly thick case, so it should survive a bit rougher treatment if you put a strong screen protector on it. Screen protectors on the Brax 2 phones are the same. They're 6.5-inch screens. So if you get any 6.5-inch screen protector, if for example you don't you damage the one we send you, you can buy one. It's from on Amazon. They're the same. So okay. So anyway, that's I think it's polyurethane. I forget the actual material name for it. I've never done a 3D print with flexible a 3D what do you call this? Someone remind me that it's supposed to be a Q&A. It's not what I'm doing, answering your question, but I can't answer every question. Okay, now the other thing that's interesting. So somebody asked this, so let me get into it now. So the question was the Brax 2 USA version. Again, to summarize the issue, some of you, the number I believe is 2%, but the number seems to be higher on Amazon for some reason. But many of you have returned Brax 2 phones because of incompatibility with your carrier, or you were told by the carrier it didn't work, and so you didn't bother and you just returned it without thinking about it. So anyway, the issue has been, as I've explained, that the carriers do not know how to react to the Brax 2 phone because the IMEI is not registered. So if they look it up and it says, "Oh, that's not a compatible phone," they don't know what the phone model is because the IMEI is unregistered. So because the IMEI is unregistered, then they don't have any way of identifying the phones. So their easy answer is, "Oh, it doesn't work." Well, of course it works because you plug in the SIM card and it works. Typically, if I have to argue with a carrier, what I do is I simply plug it into an old phone, make it work, then I transfer it over, and then it's solved. Milk Bones, I will answer your question after. Just get your question ready, and I will specifically make sure to pick up what you're saying. So anyway, Mint Mobile is an example of a company that actually checks the IMEI and says, "Oh, this is not a supported phone because your IMEI shows up as a Z10, whatever Z10 is." They think that's what it is because the IMEI that we use is in the range of the Z10. So because of that, they don't really know. So we've solved that. The new Brax 2 USA phones use a specifically paid for TAC code. So we have to pay for the TAC code, and we have to pay for the IMEI range, and so So it's now registered as a 4G TAC code. So the TAC code, that's the identifier that identifies the brand. So the brand is now known as and you have to register it as specifically a 4G brand. Simply registering the brand doesn't work. You have to register it as 4G brand. So the answer is that the IMEI that we registered the Brax2 USA phones using these new number sets are approved by T-Mobile. T-Mobile says it's okay. Okay, so because the T-Mobile one says it's okay, so that's good. Now it doesn't mean that AT&T says it's not okay, because it's been working with AT&T and it's been working with many of the Verizon ones. Now, what is different, although the IMEI is not yet recognized by Verizon and AT&T, because AT&T you have to pay, you have to bribe them to accept your IMEI. Verizon is very restrictive on IMEIs, but they actually been working for at least 50% of the Verizons are working. That number now is going to be higher on the Brax2 USA phones, because the missing band 4, which is primarily used by Verizon, is now on the USA phones. So the problem is we have to test it. Okay, so having said that, the Brax2 USA phones will arrive at my site here on 9/15. 9/15. So by mid September, we'll be able to switch to Brax2 USA phone for those who have issues. If you don't have an issue, it doesn't matter. You probably want the unregistered IMEI. Now, second point, we are able to reflash on existing phones. We're able to reflash the IMEIs if there is an issue with IMEIs. So we're able to flash an existing model, an existing Brax2 version 1, revision 1, and flash it with an IMEI that's compatible with in theory, T-Mobile. But I haven't tested that yet, so we're going to find out. If you do not have a problem with the Brax2 phone, there's nothing you have to do. I'm using T-Mobile on mine. I have no problem. So I don't understand why some T-Mobile have problems. And so it's not a global problem, but it's irritating enough that it's affecting some of you, and some of you are returning the phones because it doesn't work. I'm pretty sure 50% of that are just carriers not giving you the right APN codes. I'm sure 50% of that is that. But the actual legitimately not working phones, like T-Mobile prepaid as an example, is because of the IMEI, because prepaids are checking the IMEI, and because it doesn't match anything, they fail it. So anyway, that's gonna be that's on its way to getting a resolution, and we'll be able to even service your old phones if you need to. You know, your phone is under one year warranty, so it should be no big deal to send it to us and flash the IMEI. We only charge for shipping. So okay, so don't worry about that. So I'm saying you have a long-term solution here, and then there'll be another update on the Brax2 OS. The update is on the USA versions are already updated, but there will be an update also on the you don't want eSIM. Somebody said, what about eSIM? You don't want that. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some information. I'll give you more information once I have finalized the details. We're actually we're still meeting about some of the details of this. This is a very complex issue. If you're a phone maker, which we basically are phone makers, we have this issue. So what's your opinion on Indian government asking companies for user data like address, IP, search history, etc.? Well, that's now different than USA asking for that data. They give it to the government. They've been giving it. Can the IMEI remove from Verizon version? You can't remove. I still have the international versions with the old IMEI. So I still have and will have the other version. So, okay. So, what what if you were to remove the GPS tracker? You can't remove the GPS. You can disable it in the OS. You can't remove it because it's hardware. It's part of the motherboard. Let's see what else. Uh, Indian asking VPN companies. Oh, they can ask me all day. I have a server in India, but there's no data. So what am I supposed to give them? So we're okay there. Okay. So I don't have any data on my VPN. So they can make the request all day, and there's not going to be any data. So VPN log compulsory, yeah, whatever. So what are they going to do to me? Knock me out of India? I'll say fine, bye. So yeah, there is no data on my VPN. So if they want to kick me out of India, then no big loss. So you can use a Singapore server, which is not that far away. I've said I've been distracted for a year and I know how to do things differently. This podcast has inspired me to get busy. Any update on the Raspberry Pi shortage? No, there is no update on the Raspberry Pi shortage. However, I bought myself a Intel NUC 1. Anyway, I bought myself a Intel little computer with the intent of actually maybe creating a Linux version on the Intel NUC and using that instead of a Raspberry Pi. It's just slightly more expensive, but it's fully equipped, and maybe have that as an option. We can pre-sell the Intel NUCs, and to do the same thing as the Brax router, because that is a problem. Imagine, why did the world supply of Brax routers, of Raspberry Pis, basically end? So from a supply chain issue, it's like nobody's building a Raspberry Pi anymore. Crazy. Anyway, I gotta find time to do that. So let's see. Password manager might be best option. Okay. Where's that milk guy that had a question? I've been looking for his question, but he doesn't post a question, and he says, I've been asking a question for months or weeks. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the Google leaks a whistleblower. Yeah. Well, should be obvious. That's no different than Twitter. So yeah, we can discuss this to death, and the reality is, yes, we have to acknowledge that the people in big tech have one political view. It's not balanced. So because of that, their view of things and issues are tainted by the single view, because all of them think the same. And I don't know if that's because of hiring practices, that they don't have any balance, or they only hire from certain places. I don't really know. But the reality is that, yeah, that guy, the whistleblower guy, said, it's, yeah, when the elections occurred, and the whole company basically was in depression when Trump was elected. Versus a normal company would probably have 50% pro, 50% against, and it's not the case there. You just posted it again, but now I didn't see it. So, okay, let me scan up and I can see your question. When can I best reach you directly to discuss a large purchase specific to a highly sensitive situation I'm in needing top sec? Okay, milk bones. You really wouldn't be posting that kind of comment here. For anybody else, I'm accessible on Brax.me. You go to Brax.me, and you don't need to talk to me here and wait for weeks to get for me to do chat. My next video is CBDC. Don't worry, got that covered. That's the next video. That's next week's video. CBDC. That's next week's video. Why would Apple bother to track every? Why'd you ask them, Jeremy? What do you mean bother? It's not a bother. They sell the data. They've been selling data to the government for a long time. So what do you mean bother? I don't do voice, milk bones. You talk on Brax in chat. I don't do voice. I don't have time for that. Sorry, because that's too much of a commitment time. So a chat message, I have to evaluate whether I have the time to do something. I don't actually want to take any consulting services because I don't have time. So so I will do a limited one in chat, but that's it. If it's more than that, then maybe you need to look for somebody else with better skills. Chat doesn't have a time. You can leave a message and then I can respond when I have the time to respond. So yeah, it's funny with that question. Why would they bother tracking you? Why you ask them? Why are they doing that? Why did they put that technology on the phone? Yeah, why are you asking me? I can see where they can benefit from it. Like I told you, they can sell that data to government. But maybe they have a bigger picture. Like I told you, they're actually doing things that imply you can talk and chat for 5 minutes. That doesn't need a phone conversation. Phone conversations, milk bones requires, scheduling, and I don't have time for that. So I have to block time for that. So yeah. So in chat, you go to BraxMe. Just log into BraxMe and people will tell you how to do it. Any plans of enhancing the phone more secure through crowdsourcing? Yeah, because it's going to be open source. Yeah, we're working on the open source right now. Yeah. So then you can find your own bugs and tell the community. You just don't know how to leave you a message there. Well, I'm Rob Braxman. My ID on BraxMe is @RobBraxman, and you find me in people. Say start chat. You leave a message. That's it. It's really simple. I'm sure you can find somebody with that kind of skill level if you don't have that. It's a pretty basic app. Okay? I don't de-Google any Samsungs, and you can't de-Google any USA Samsungs. Let's see. It's hard to figure out how to message Rob. It's not hard to figure out how to message Rob. I do it all the time. Yes, people message me all the time. Now, please message me in group chat if you can, because I can't respond to every. I get overloaded, so I'm not able to respond to everyone, because my primary job is to make these videos, and it's that's very very time consuming. I don't know if you actually know how long it takes to make a video. It's a lot that goes into making videos. The live stream's easy. I just turn on the live stream and I talk. But the short videos require a lot of planning, and it's a full production. You can use Yandex if you want, but it's Russian. So I don't know if you want to use that. So yeah, there's no room, milk bones. You chat. You can chat personally with anyone. You click on a pic. You go to people. You find the person you want to talk to. You click on their pic, and there's an option to start chat. That's it. I don't need to watch that, Peter Lang. I've already explained to you how that works. The technology is correct. Yes, they can do that. The technology that is used that explains that movie is explained in the video, How to Track Phones. In fact, I did that partially to make sure that people understand how that is done. So which nobody watched, by the way, that video, How Phones Are Tracked. Uh, yeah, in 2022, the 2022 version, and that explains, how they could have done that video. Okay, so that's not what do you call this, theory. Yeah, it can be done. In fact, they sell location data all the time. You may not be able to find out, depending on the source. You may not be able to find out who owns a specific phone, but you can find out which phones were found where. Yeah, that's called geofencing. You can easily do that. Okay, you can easily do that. Um, right. Yandex is Russian, like I said. So yeah, you can do that all you want, but you got to be careful with some of these search engines because you got to worry about what their bias is. Have you seen the AI text to image generated art cropping up recently? I haven't seen that, but of course that's nothing too surprising. I wonder about privacy can't be much worse than here. I wonder about privacy can't be much worse than here. I don't know what that means. Is our privacy in danger if we open up a text message from a spammer but don't click their links? Uh, no, the text message itself, if you don't touch it, won't necessarily do anything unless you touch it, unless it's an iPhone. My phone's the current model works in Australia just fine. In fact, I ship quite a few of it to Australia. Yeah, so if you, the Brax 2 phone, the current model is an international model. It works abroad very well. All the issues that I have with Brax 2 phones and unregistered IMEIs are only USA problems. They do not involve problems with other countries, and it's basically something that the U.S. companies are doing here because they're forcing us to dump our phones so they no longer support 3G, while many other countries still use 3G. So it's not specific to the international use of the phone. It's a problem for U.S. Okay. AdGuard or open source ads trackers. By the way, if you use Bytes VPN automatically comes with Pi-hole, so the ads are filtered through Pi-hole. The Pi-hole server is built into the VPN, so you don't even have to do anything. Did you see Okay, the 3D printed work steak I ate. Oh. Um, what do you recommend to read? Uh, there's some interesting books on the uh, the three-letter agencies. Search for those books. What's the name of the guy that wrote them? I don't know. You might get tracked when you buy it from Amazon though. But there's he has two books that I know of that reveal some of the activities of the three-letter agencies, and it's really interesting view on history that you may never have realized, and it's probably good to read as far as nonfiction. I'm a big fiction reader. I try to finish a book every week at least. Uh, does geofencing use stingrays? No, geofencing does not use stingrays. That's done by Apple, Google themselves. Stingray does not need geofencing because you are already in the geo area. So proximity, it's proximity based. So Stingray is proximity based. If you're near it, you're caught. So, for example, you can carry a portable Stingray on your body. So you can be a plainclothes policeman, put on a Stingray on your body and walk around a demonstration and can capture all the phones that are in the area and get their IMSI, and then you can check out who they are. Alternatively, if you go drive through certain areas of town, like in Washington D.C., the IMSI trackers will track your IMSI as they approach, and they use that. Embassies use that to see who's snooping around the area with the IMSIs. They can also fly a drone or an actual airplane with a stingray, and then it can then look down and see if there's any uh, capture all the IMSIs that are found in the area where the airplane is, or yeah. So it's basically proximity tracking, and that's for passive surveillance. For active surveillance, they can do that with Stingray to actually actively attack your phone. But the first step is passive surveillance, just find the IMSIs. For geofencing, it's not geofencing, it's proximity tracking with Stingray. So Stingray is a different approach, whereas geofencing is that your phones are already tracking your location, so they just go to Google and say, who was at X demonstration, who was at X riot, and they know that. They can give that. Now, third parties can sell that too. So there are companies that sell that data, like the location trackers, that not necessarily identify who the owner is, maybe by IP address, but may not be able to identify directly by name or ID. And that's what is sold by the ad company. So on your phone, when you operate your phone and there's an app with an ad in it, that ad not only feeding you the ad, but it's also taking your location at the time, your timestamp, and then they collect that, and then they combine that, and then they sell it. So that's what you're feeling there. American Wolf, thank you so much. So do you understand that now? So that just making that distinction there. So okay, one other thing I want to say before I run out of time. I've started a YouTube membership program, so you can be a member on YouTube to support the channel, and I believe the membership will be $4.99. I think it's going to be $4.99, and what I'm thinking about the benefit to be, because I got to give you a benefit for it. What I'm thinking about as a benefit is a private members only Q&A. Thank you, Sierra Star. So a private Q&A. So just a few of you can ask questions, and I don't have to read like hundreds and hundreds of them. And we dedicate a time where we do that. And if you're a member, so that's I'm gonna start documenting that. I'm trying to figure it out, and then I can't I don't know how you do free membership. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I don't know how to do that because the membership is part of the YouTube structure. I don't know if I can add membership. So it's going to be an option on the channel to be a member. When I turn it on, it's not yet set up. So I'm going to set it up in a few days here. And I was just thinking, what am I going to offer you that makes sense, and what service am I going to offer you? And I think that makes sense. Is maybe I'll reduce the Q&A time on the actual live video and do a separate video on Q&A, so that the people in the member zone, hopefully there won't be as many members, and then the members can ask questions here, because someone like Milkbones who wants to reach me can do it in a more restrictive environment where not the whole world is seeing it. So anyway, that's the plan, and I'm going to activate it shortly. I was just trying to define what the benefit will be. So I believe it's going to be $4.99. I don't know what portion I get of $4.99, so not clear. This is all new to me. It was offered to me by YouTube. So yeah. So, and I will publish it as members only. So if you're not a member, you won't be able to join the live stream. So that's the plan. And then can get certain that that certain attention in the membership live stream. So anyway, that's the plan, and that membership will be for I think it's going to be $4.99. That's what the standard one. That's what the standard one is. Okay, so that's the plan. I hope maybe I'll get it activated by next week, by the next live stream. If I get it activated in the next day or so, then we may be able to do something by the next live stream. That'll be YouTube only though. That doesn't apply to Rumble. So I'm gonna do the standard live stream that I'm doing here will be on Rumble and YouTube, but the member only is gonna be members only for YouTube. So it's just a specific offering, and obviously it's a way for the channel to make some extra income to support the channel. This is a hard channel this is a hard thing what I'm doing, and in fact I have not been pushing for you to give me anything. Everything that I have been offering are products. So hopefully you buy products from me, and then for that you get a benefit. It's that the product itself. I haven't been offering like, hey, support me on Patreon. Some of you support me on Patreon, but it's not something I actively push. So anyway, thank you. So anyway, thank you for watching, and this is the first time we've done it on Rumble, and maybe we'll figure out Rumble a little bit better here. I have not seen a Rumble chat at all, and it's supposed to be showing up here, but it hasn't. So I don't know how to activate that. So I've already had my adult beverages. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah. So again, in closing, just make sure that when you search the internet for me and you find some stupid video attacking me, you should laugh. You should laugh, because the people who attack me should be ashamed of themselves, because they're like little kids. They're like little kids, and I'm not going to stoop to their level. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and now I got to figure out how to end the live stream, because I'm not sure how to do that yet. Oh, I think I know how.